Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Let's start off with the watch list. Um, for Sunday watch list, excuse me. We're gonna start off Sunday watch list with market news. I know we haven't really covered market news on Sundays, but we're going to start covering market news and any earnings coming up that you guys should be aware of. So Monday we do have 2 p.m. data. The monthly federal budget. That's not really going to move the market as much, so it's not really that important for us. When it comes into day trading. Um, Tuesday, before the market for sure, we have that core CPI data all on Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning before the market opens. Wednesday, there's nothing scheduled. Thursday here we have initial jobless claims, retail, home builders at 10, but we have tons of the data happening before the bell opening. Uh, just to be more safe, you could probably potentially wait until after 10 o'clock to take a trade. All right, let's go to Friday. Friday, we also have PPI. You could also wait until after 10 a.m. for the consumer sentiment prelim to start day trading, or you could just take that early morning push or early morning push either way, up or down. You could take that early in the morning. Before we get into the charts, let's actually talk about earnings this week. This is the earnings that we have this week. So these on Monday are good, I would say. Like Waste Management is kind of a big company. Well, not kind of, it is a big company. If you have them long term, you should definitely look to either straddle your positions for any type of movement on WM. Before the open on Tuesday, this is probably one of my favorite days because we have Shopify, Datadog, Coca Cola. Those three I do tend to trade on my smaller accounts because these allow you to get more position for those smaller accounts or those 500, $1,000 accounts, $2,000 accounts, things like that. These types of names right here are really good for you, along with that Airbnb, Robinhood, Upstart, Lyft, MGM, even Zillow. You could look at as well. I don't trade Zillow. I do have them for like long terms and stuff like that, along with MGM and Lyft. Wednesday, we have Cisco. Tend to see what they have to do with cybersecurity. There's a lot of things going around cybersecurity, a lot with the AI and things that are going on. So look for Cisco to have a good day or a bad day, but that's something you should look at as well, along with HubSpot for Wednesday after the close. Upwork as well. You can start seeing if there's some uptick on uh, remote works and stuff like that. Thursday, you have Crocs, John Deere before the market opens, and after it closes, we have Coinbase, Roku, Trade Desk, DoorDash, and DraftKings. Those would be the ones I'll be watching. And Friday, I'm not really watching much other than Air Canada and TC Energy. I like TC Energy just basically with everything that's going around with oil and stuff like that, clean energy, solar, things like that. And Air Canada, of course, just to see their reaction after Boeing, what happened, even though Boeing is its own company, but I like to watch things around it for any other types of movements that other companies that are kind of sister brothers to it or in the same sectors as well. So that's what I'm looking at for earnings. We could definitely play Shopify, Coca-Cola, Datadog, and all the other ones pre-earnings and after earnings for some great setups. Definitely we'll be watching Coinbase and things like that. But if you want to see what we're trading every single day, just join the live. It'll be posted on the Instagram, or you could just like and subscribe and see exactly what we trade every single day and trade with us every single day for the rest of this month. Let's go over SPY now. So we have cleared all-time highs on SPY, as you know. That 480 was all-time highs on SPY. So we are up about 4%. Call it 4.5% from all-time highs on SPY. That being said, you could look for a pullback. This would be a deeper pullback into this 480. A little bit more of a high risk would be this 500. Of course, we're on the weekly, so it looks a little bit crazy. But the reason why the 500 is because it was such a crucial level to get above. But we're finally up above that 500. But I'll show you why it's pretty much crucial on the futures. So this 40, let's go to the weekly. This high right here of 5,028, let's call it 5,030. That was all-time highs on the futures market on ES. So if you go to 530, 5030, excuse me, that's that level right there. You could kind of correlate that level to on SPY. If we split this, let's go to the 4 hour. You could correlate that 5030 mostly to this level here at this 498 level. So that 498, 499, you could look for a potential bounce to see SPYs to start hold for another leg higher. I would say up into this 505. Up into these highs here. The downside, I'm honestly not interested in any downside until SPY gets below this 480. SPY gets below 480, we could look for a move lower. There's just tons of areas of demand that we could look for potential bounces. Of course, we're going to look at these levels a little bit more cleaner in the morning when we go through things. But right now, that's pretty much what I'm looking for. I'm looking for SPY to break and hold above 501.7 for a move up into that 505 level up here. Or for it to come back down into this 500 to 498.5. I know it's a little bit big of a zone, but anything around here, I'd look for a potential bounce back above this 500. As you see, it kind of did that here. Pre-market on Friday, it wicked above, came down, held that 498, came up to this 500, tested it, rejected it, came back into this 499 zone, came right back up to test these new highs. So I'm looking for another reaction at this level, at this 498 to 500, to see what we get. Now let's go over QQQ. So on the Qs, it's basically simple, just the same. I'm looking for a pullback to this 430 or break and hold above these highs. For the downside, I need it below this 423 for me to start looking into, 425. 425, break and hold below this for a move into this 420 and then 415 area. You could also flip longs around here as well. But it's very simple on QQQ. We're looking for a break and hold above this 437 for a move up into this 440. Psychological level, key level. The reason why we go for this round number or get close to it is because institutional retail buyers, pretty much everybody looks for a clean whole number. So they'll say, I want to buy in at 436, 435, and I'd like to sell at 440, 438. They look for that whole round numbers. But when you day trade, you look for more precise entries when you do your top down analysis, of course. So, like we were saying on the Qs, we're looking for that break and hold above 437.8 for it to close above, hold it, come down, retest that level for a move back up to this 440. If not, we'd like it to come down to this 430 to 425 area. You could actually call it 430 to 428.5 to be a little bit more precise on that right there. Precise on that, like in the zone. This is a zone that we have right here, so I'd like to see it come down into here, hold this for a move back higher. If not, you could take the bounce down here at that 425. Let's go over Tesla. So on Tesla, if you followed our live sessions on Sundays, if you followed our weekly, daily, well, last week's, I should say, not weekly, last week's daily live sessions that we had, you know that I kept saying, wait for Tesla to come down to this 175, 180 level for a move higher, and a potential area of super interest would have been that 170. I hope people got in at that 175. You were literally 1 cent away from that. For the lows of this little consolidation right here. But right now, I'm actually looking for a break and hold of this 196. The reason I'm looking for that break and hold above that 196 is because we have a gap fill right here on the daily. You see that gap fill up into that 207, 206 level right here. I'm looking for that gap fill right here. If we get above that 200 and hold and gap fill, I believe we could run and hit this 220 for sure. And if you got in at 175, 180 for your long terms, and that's a really, really nice level. And you should be up, if you got at that 175, you should be up almost $20 per share. That's amazing. In a few days, 1, 2, 3, 4 days, 4 or 5 days. So as you know, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for a break and hold above this 196 for a move up into this 207. I would definitely start to trim at this 200 level, psychological level, huge level, 200. So you could look at trimming at this 200. For the downside, simple, break and hold below 175. I'm not looking for any bounces or anything. If it comes back down to this 175, I need to see a reaction, confirmations off that 175 back up to the upside. But right now it's in between this channel, as you see, 175, 196, break and hold down 196 for a move to that 207, and start to take trim profits at this 200. Let's go over one of the. Let's go over D-Dog. Let's do a free one. Let's go over D-Dog. So we have earnings here. Last earnings, as you see, it skyrocketed and gapped up above from open. It closed at about, let's round it up and say it closed at 79. Let's round off that and say it closed at 79, and it opened the next day at 98, pretty much 99. It's almost a $20 gap right there. I expect this to actually come down tomorrow and then shoot back up with earnings. So I expect this to come back down. I'd say maybe at this 130 level to 126. Come back down here, and then it's probably just going to shoot up maybe to that 150 up here. But as you see on the long term, it's already starting to curl up. Let me see if I could draw that for you guys. It's already starting to curl up and form this cup and handle, what people like to call. As you see, it looks like a teacup handle. That's usually what people look for right there. You could call it a scallop, a teacup, things like that. But I see it starting to curl up already. So I do believe it's going to have good earnings and it's going to push it up above this 150. That's what I have for the week. I gave you guys a little freebie on Datadog. Uh, it's a good area to buy for long term if it comes back down lower. It has nothing but room basically all the way up into this 200. And if it does that, I believe uh, this is one of the names that will be not lagging, but to start to pick up because there are some lagging names in this market. It's looking like we're definitely in a new bull run, especially with it being an election year. Usually during an election year, we have bull runs to benefit the president that's in office. So usually you don't see the market having a bad year the year of an election year or even the year prior. So look for this to be the beginning of another bull run, in my opinion. Strictly just my opinion, of course. But Datadog would be a great name to add to your portfolio, along with Cisco and other names like that. So I think the bull run's going to be more around security and AI and some chips as well. So that Magnificent Seven is gonna do good. I think Tesla's a great buy down here as well, even though it's a late bloomer, but that weekly candle right here just shows so much promise. It held that 175, didn't create a new low. It created a lower high, so I believe we're about to go up higher. This is kind of consolidating into a little bit of a longer form of a bull flag, kind of like what happened here. But I don't see us coming down lower as we're creating lower highs for the longer term. Lower high, came down, starting to bounce back up. If we do hold above that 207, 208, I do see 220 very, very quickly. And then we could potentially start shooting it back up with this bull run with the election year. But that's what I have so far. Thanks for coming by. And just remember, like and subscribe. And see you Monday on live.